Names and attributes of God. During the second week, we're going to look into the second name of God, El Roi, the God who sees me. El Roi, the God who sees me. The name of the Lord, the name of the God, El Roi, appears only once in the Bible. It is in the chapter 16 of the book of Genesis. Hagar, the slave girl, running away from Abram and Sarai, amid the lonely and the abandoned times, in the desert and dry land, addressed God as El Roi, the God who sees me. Hagar addressed God from her greatest physical and emotional agony as El Roi, the God who sees me. The God knows all the count of anyone's hair. God knows all the circumstances of everyone. God knows all our past, present, and future. El Roi, the God who sees me, also is seeing Hagar through all her circumstances as of now. Because it is only one occurrence in the Genesis chapter 16, and we would like to read this one to get the context of the whole depiction of this word El Roi. The angel of the Lord found Hagar near a spring in the desert. It was the spring that is beside the road to Shur. And he said, Hagar, slave of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going? And the Sarai replies in the following way, I am running away from my mistress Sarai. She answered. Now, then the angel of the Lord told her, Go back to your mistress and submit to her. The angel added, I will increase your descendants so much that they will be too numerous to count. If you go to next verse, verses 11 and 12, the beautiful depiction here, the angel of the Lord also said to her, You are now pregnant, and you will give birth to a son. You shall name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard your misery. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand against him, and he will live in hostility toward all his brothers. Verse 13 and 14, that's where the name comes in for us, on the following way in an NIV version, and we're going to see the other versions in the next few slides. Verse 13. She gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God who sees me. You are the God who sees me. For she said, I have now seen the one who sees me. Verse 14. That is why the well was called Beer Lahai Roi. It is still there between Kadesh and Bered. We'll come to these names in a minute, but let us go and check verse 13 and verse 14 in detail from other versions as well. We have the 4 versions here. First, verse 13 from chapter 16 of Genesis, in which we see the word El Roi as mentioned, as spoken by Hagar in her agony, in her distress, in her disappointment, running away in this desert there. The word is actually more profoundly mentioned In the Common English Bible of 2011, the last line here on this slide, I will read. So she named the Lord who spoke to her, "You are El Roi," for she said, "In this place have I actually seen the one who sees me." If you go one step above, in ESV, we read the following way, "You are a God of seeing," for she said, "Truly here I have seen him who looks after me." If you go to the NIV version, we already seen in the previous slides, "You are the God who sees me," for she said, "I have now seen the one who sees me." The one is in capitals here. In all these versions, Lord is always used L-O-R-D. That is an indication of the specific name El Roi here. In King James Version it says, "Thou God seest me," for she said, "Have I also here looked after him that seeth me." Slight rendition of the meanings all around, but there is a hone on one particular word. "You are El Roi," as mentioned here in the CEV version of 2011. Let us move on to the next version here, on the next verse 14, and then we will see the following way. Verse 14 in KJV, there is a new name here that we are going to see about the well. "Wherefore the well was called Beer Lahai Roi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered." Next version in NIV, we have separation for this particular word for the well. Beer Lahai Roi. All three different words there. When we go to the ESV, they made it a kind of compound word with separation. Beer Lahai Roi. And everything is Beer, Lahai is the lower letters, ROI lower letter there. And then we got the CEB version, what we have seen before, where El Roi is mentioned, is in the similar way, Beer Lahai Roi. Therefore, that well is called Beer Lahai Roi. It is the well between Kadesh and Bered, and still there, that's part also there. So let us look at that particular name. El Roi, the God who sees me. The place where it happened, that spring, that well, is identified with a specific name by Hagar at the time, and it is written for us there. Let's check on this one. The well, Beer Lahai Roi, where it is, how far away. Many scholars believe that she might have left the location Hebron and walked on the road going south towards Egypt, and she might have passed through Beersheba, the location known then and even now, and further down and comes to a location. It is about maybe few days or few weeks of walk. We estimate it to be about 70 miles. Or it could be few weeks and few months of the time there. We do not know, and only Hagar can know that one, and only God knows that one, because God is the one who sees this all there. And now, at that location, there is a well. Typically, in those days, the well is like this one, and one side is the opening part for various things to do, and other side is a closed part, and from which they will pull the water out and so on. Maybe she got an opportunity to see the spring bringing up the water all the way to the ground level and able to quench her thirst and take care of her for the time until the angel of the Lord appeared to her and spoke. Beer Lahai Roi is in the mentioned in the chapter 16 of Genesis here, and let us look at that one. In verse 7, the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water. Verse 14, therefore the well was called Beer Lahai Roi, and it lies between Kadesh and Bered. If you go to the third point here in verse 14 and 7 combined together here, Ber means well, Lahai means living, Roy means seeing. El Roy, the God who sees me. That particular part. Well, living and seeing combined together. Well of the living one who sees me. That's the beautiful depiction of that one. The fourth item that we can see here, this well is associated with Isaac's dwelling. Isaac is yet to be born. Hagar is pregnant with Ishmael at this time. And now we'll go back to Abraham, who is going to have a son by name Isaac, and he is going to have an opportunity to dwell in this place. So we move on from chapter 16 to chapter 24 and 25, where we see Isaac was living near Ber-lahai-roi. And chapter 25, Isaac selected near Ber-lahai-roi after Abraham's death. This confirms it was in the southern pastoral region of the patriarchs. Abraham, the patriarch, and their pastoral area where the sheep was taken care and all those things is going to be in this particular area there. So we move on to the other parts of our discussion today. What do we interpret from the eyes of Hagar when she said these words about God, called the Lord with the specific name El Roi? I praise you, my Lord, for you see me and know my entire life story. Give me the humility to admit my limitations. I have no idea about my life, either past, present, and future, but you know it all, you see it all. So if you can interpret those things here, for I do not see the past accurately, for my vision of the present is very blurry. Yes, my future is still blind to me. El Roi, God who sees me, He knows it all. And we have the son from Hagar coming up with the name Ishmael, as it was given. And the Ishmael, God who hears me. The meaning of the word Ishmael means God who hears me. El Roi, God who sees me. And we're going to talk about that very later time. We'll move on to the important narrative link here, and that is Hagar encountered God at a place, a well called Ber-lahai-roi. Abram, Hagar, together they had Ishmael. Abram's name is changed to Abraham. Sarai's name is changed to Sarah. And they have God's promised child, Isaac. Let me read this one. Now Isaac is grown up. He's already moving into this area and staying in this area. And then we have Eliezer finding a bride for Isaac and bringing back to this particular location. It is still Ber-lahai-roi, where Isaac is going to see Rebekah for the first time. I want to read this particular verse here, 62 through 64 from chapter 24 of Genesis. Now Isaac had returned from Ber-lahai-roi and was dwelling in the Negev. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field toward evening. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, there were camels coming. Verse 64. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she dismounted from the camel and said to the servant, Who is that man walking in the field to meet us? The servant said, It is my master. So she took her veil and covered herself. We have a beautiful sculpture actually in India, in Salarjung Museum. The veil of Rebecca sculpted in the marble stone, as Rebecca is seeing through the veil, and we see that one. God's faithfulness extends beyond ethnic and social boundaries. From Psalm 33 verses 13 through 15, the Lord looks down from heaven. He sees all the children of man. From where he sits enthroned, he looks out on all the inhabitants of the earth. He who fashions the hearts of them all and observes all their deeds. Verse 18, Behold, the eyes of the Lord is on those who fear him, on those who hope in his steadfast love, who fear him, who hope in his steadfast love. May God help us to have that fear, and may God help us to have that hope. Until we see next time, may God bless you all.